Welcome back to Extra Shot, the podcast about the funniest stories in sport this week. And on the pod today, FIFA threatens to sue the upshot.
Do FIFA not have anything better to do than hunting down grassroots podcast?
And we unmask the mystery headbutter from Nicky Butt's birthday party.
They didn't have to DNA test the piss up against the
Shame. And finally, Romeo Beckham cucks his brother, Brooklyn. What? It's a spicy one. My name's Jack. Zach is here as well.
Hello, Jack.
Hello. No JP this week. We've got him busy bottling his bathwater so we can sell it to his fans.
Yeah, we were speculating on how to increase the value of the bathwater as much as possible. Maybe manscape into it. And then,
or some like filings from his.
Yeah.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
That's an extra 50p.
Yeah.
Covers P&P, postage and packaging. One idea we did have genuinely for merch is a tip and strip pen. You know those pens that are, it's a woman in a swimsuit normally, and then you turn the pen upside down and she's naked. But with JP. So
That's a real like 90s office accessory, isn't it?
Yeah,
One
sort of thing
pens.
you probably get a gross misconduct charge for now. In this climate.
Is there some way you can get custom made ones?
Well,
made?
if anyone has a factory in China with dubious working practices that could knock this up,
Yeah.
or an ethical one, preferably.
Whichever one's cheaper, really.
Yeah, we would love to make them. They must. I saw an AliExpress you can, but I don't think they're custom.
No, I think I looked at the same ones, and they're sort of Victorian illustration style things, like the ones you get at like seasides.
Yeah,
those kind of innuendo.
Whereas I need
things. We need actual
a cock, a photo of a cock. I would actually accept JP's head on a naked woman's body. Anyway, if anyone knows how we could make these, I think they would.
Have you okayed it with JP?
Yeah. I mean, sort of.
At this point, it's all priced
He
in,
loves
really.
it. Yeah. Right. I thought we should get straight into the scandal of the century, Zach, because yesterday I had a phone call regarding a recent podcast where we talked about the Club World Cup, and we talked about the process by which money flowed into the Club World Cup, and how, on an unrelated note, Saudi Arabia became World Cup hosts. And I called FIFA fucking bent. Anyway, we put a clip about it out on Insta that's done quite well. It's got, 27,000 likes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And yesterday I got a phone call from someone working for FIFA, who I'm not going to name because this isn't about them. But it seems that Gianni Infantino and co have been listening to the Upshot podcast, and they're not so keen on my belief that FIFA are fucking bent.
Was that their objection? Was the term fucking bent?
Yeah. Because I mean, the clip had a sticker at the start that said "Breaking news: FIFA is corrupt" or "are corrupt."
Yeah.
Which, the guy on the call was taking issue specifically with my comment at the end, and he basically said that's defamatory.
I want to get another letter from them, a legal letter that has your assertion that we are fucking bent.
Quote.
Do FIFA not have anything better to do than hunting down?
Yeah, you'd think
grassroots podcast.
You'd wonder that. I mean, they are extremely petty. So I saw last year they sued Google because there was an African website, quite an obscure website, that called them corrupt, and it was on it wasn't even on the first page of listings, so it's minor. And they sued Google for defamation.
Is that Google's fault? Surely that's
I don't exactly know the ins and outs of the law, but they sued Google, and they sued them in Switzerland, which has notoriously strict libel laws, and they lost. So unlucky Gianni.
bodes well.
I quite like the idea that Gianni Infantino is just like sitting at home, death scrolling on Insta. Yeah. He's already liked all of Sol Bay's pictures. He's done his fire emojis under Al Nasser's latest post, and then he stops dead in the feed. What? Yeah. Anyway, I just explain a bit more about how this call went down. So I wish I'd recorded it, but this guy said this is defamatory, and he got quite angry when I argued that it's not. That it's it's just my honest opinion based on the facts that FIFA is fucking bent. And he said, look, I come in peace, but next up, you'll be getting a letter from FIFA, which I can only, given that he mentioned defamation and this letter, I can only take that to be a threat of legal action.
I like that he said, "I come in peace," like some sort of like Martian.
Yeah, it's a Star Wars. Take me to your leader. Yeah, but also I don't really feel it was coming in peace because it got quite tense. And I think it's not peace if you phone someone threatening a letter from FIFA about defamation. Anyway, leaving aside FIFA's very rich history of corruption, which the bloke on the call described as a different regime, the pre-2015 regime, as he called it. Leaving that aside, yes, I do think the process by which Saudi won the rights to host the World Cup is fucking bent. And maybe this is slightly boring, but I just want to look at the facts. So DAZN, the broadcaster, paid $1 billion to show the Club World Cup, despite the fact that no British broadcaster wanted to offer a single penny. ITV offered £0. That was it.
Was this $1 billion to show it in the UK?
This is show it worldwide,
Okay.
but I think the lack of a UK broadcaster wanting to pay anything is pretty indicative of the market. Around the same time, Saudi Arabia invested $1 billion in DAZN. It's quite a chunk of change.
Generous investment.
And around similar time, Saudi were also named as the hosts of the World Cup, which is what I said. You know, I just think that process stinks.
So if we follow the trail, $1 billion was passed from Saudi Arabia to DAZN and then to FIFA, and then the World Cup rights were given from FIFA to Saudi Arabia
on a completely unrelated matter. Yeah.
Obviously, it's a complete coincidence within weeks of.
Well, that's all around sort of like winter of 2024 turning into 25. Even besides that, FIFA did stitch up the bidding process. So you remember that the World Cup's meant to go like continent by continent, and so it was meant to be South America and then Africa next, because we had Qatar and we're having North America. But FIFA got around that by the 2030 World Cup, which is mainly Spain and Portugal. The opening games are in South America, just like a handful of random
It's literally
games.
like 2 games.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then Morocco are joint bids as well. So that ticks the South America box, ticks the Africa box, which means it goes back to Asia, where Saudi Arabia were ready and waiting. And a lot of people say, well, no one else bidded, but Australia wanted to bid. But FIFA completely blindsided them because FIFA suddenly announced earlier than expected, right, we want all the bids for this World Cup in within 25 days. Saudi Arabia, the same at the exact moment, had a written bid ready to go, which they submitted, And Australia said, well, look, we've been blindsided. We don't have time, so we can't bid, pulled out. They also relaxed a previous rule that said there had to be a certain number of stadiums that were already built at the time of bid for Saudi.
Yeah,
and they gave them the highest ever mark in the in the like I forget what it's called, but the report about like the bid quality. So yeah, I think all that is quite boring detail, but I just wanted to lay out the facts to explain why I think that FIFA is fucking bent, and I would love the chance to declare my honestly held opinion that FIFA is fucking bent in a court of law, which they are calling Bentgate. Fucking Bentgate. FIFA versus the shot.
Yeah. I mean, I would love it if this happens.
Yeah, I mean, look, I said to the guy on the phone when he said you're going to get a letter, I was like, I genuinely would welcome nothing more than being able to read that out on the pod.
Yeah.
And like, we would love this. I'd love to go to court and argue about this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's nobody you would want to take down more than FIFA. There's no organisation that is so, well, there probably are, but it's we're up there with the most brazenly corrupt organisations in the world.
Up there with ISIS. I'm not actually, as it happens, but
but like it's not like we've received the odd legal letter in the past, as we discussed on a recent Patreon, including one from Pep Guardiola, which then we were maybe slightly the bad guys, but this time.
Yeah, it's FIFA. Yeah, I do also genuinely, it's insane that like a huge organisation like that with such a history of corruption is like trying to squash podcasts from talking about it and like, you know, websites on the second page of Google. Like that's insane. So yeah, if you want to support us in this great and noble fight, then you know, we are just a fledgling podcast taking on the giants of the game. We've got spare billions to chuck around. So, you know, if you do want to support us, please do subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/upshottowers. We will invest that money into taking on these arseholes and having a lot of fun with it. And we promise blow by blow accounts. I mean, we'll try and talk about this as much as possible on the pod, but Patreon will give proper detail on all of it. So
impending, step by step live text
You can
updates
sort of join
of our legal battle.
Yeah, join us as we plan our cross-examination because I want
Yeah.
Infantino in the dock.
Can we get Infantino on the pod here?
Yeah, for his cross-examination.
Good,
I was reading up on, obviously Private Eye have like probably the best example of people standing up to just like ridiculous legal threats. And there was a famous one in the 70s where this guy was threatening to sue them, J. Arkle, and the end of his legal letter said, "Mr. Arkle's attitude to damages will be governed by the nature of your reply." And Private Eye responded, "We note that Mr. Arkle's attitude to damages will be governed by the nature of our reply, and would therefore be grateful if you would inform us what his attitude to damages would be were he to learn that the nature of our reply is as follows. Fuck off." That's class.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah. Don't know if we'll be going down that exact route, but yeah, bring it on, FIFA, and please support us because it is a real David versus Goliath battle.
Yeah.
Still think it's absolutely mental. Gianni Infantino. Today I feel like suing a podcast.
Yeah.
I was actually watching that mental speech back, Infantino.
Today I feel Qatari.
Bet you do.
Today I feel Arab. Today I feel African. Today I feel gay.
It's the way he's pausing between each one. He just
Today
thinks
I
that this
feel
is so
disabled.
so meaningful. He's really like.
Today I feel a migrant worker.
Today I feel like a migrant worker, which is why we've decided to do another World Cup in Saudi Arabia to increase employment.
I think migrant worker was too on the nose. I don't think the Qataris would have appreciated that one. Gay, sure. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if FIFA have got their sort of communication strategy nailed.
I mean, if they've got their best guy belling us up on a
You're
Tuesday
belling the
morning,
upshot.
yeah.
What are you doing? Yeah. Streisand effect territory, you know, like, so I think with this, the African website that they sued Google over, I think that might have actually gone higher up in the Google rankings as a result of the legal case.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't realize the Streisand effect, what it actually is. So Barbara Streisand, basically near her house, there's something like cliff erosion or something. And this photographer took pictures of it to demonstrate the cliff erosion and put them online. And she sued him to say, like, you're invading my privacy by showing my house. And apparently at the time of suing him, it was something like 6 people had ever visited his website, 2 of which were Streisand's lawyers. And after the legal case, I think it got 200,000 visits. It's just like...
Yeah, I mean, it would be the best thing ever for us if we have a court case against FIFA.
Yeah, and I would welcome doing
We're
that.
going to, where's the headquarters? Bern or Geneva or something like that.
Geneva, yeah.
I mean, nice little weekend in Geneva.
Where's Strasbourg, isn't there? Like a European court.
Yeah.
Gianni Infantino, see you in
But
Strasbourg.
also, like, it's pretty dumb for them because they're going to have to go in there and explain in front of the world's press why we're wrong in calling them corrupt, and we will then explain our side of the story. And this is all over a reel.
Yeah,
And like,
it's
obviously,
surreal.
like,
On like
it didn't do that well.
on a
like-
podcast that talks about like piss goblins. Do you know what I mean? It's like, just fucking ignore it.
Yeah.
Leave us. We were happy with our piss goblins, but now we got to
Now
join.
we are.
Now we're in the
taking
good
on-
fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a lot for
Who
us.
should we bring down after this? Epstein's gone.
Yeah.
What should we take in FIFA? Who are we going for next?
Probably Big Pharma.
Big
That's
Father.
the obvious place to go.
Yeah.
Or like one of the more obscure
We could tackle
bigs.
tackle the opioid crisis.
Yeah, or do you want to do like Big Dairy or just one of the weird ones?
Yeah, big Palmer maybe.
Big Palmer, the cheese.
cheese.
Yeah, after FIFA, the cheese lobby, we are coming for you, Big
Yeah.
Palmer.
Yeah. Nobody's safe.
All right, I've got a juicy mystery now for you, Zach. This is the mystery that a couple of months ago we could not crack. Back in January, an unnamed guest spoiled Nicky Butt's 50th birthday party at Soho Farmhouse, the vapid celeb hellscape in the countryside.
I can't believe that there is a Soho farmhouse. That
What is
is
it like?
intensely depressing.
You've taken the
So-
Bum Out Members Club vibe and you put it in the Cotswolds.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess in a way it makes sense. It's just the sort of posh rich
Yeah, it's like that
country
twee
people. Yeah.
version of the like grim London £15 cocktails vapid vibe. Yeah. Safe to say we're not fans. Maybe we'll take them on next.
Yeah.
Anyway, at Nicky Butt's private party. Someone staggered outside of the venue and pissed on a courtyard wall. I think quite a sort of picturesque looking courtyard. And then when confronted by a security guard, turned around and headbutted the bloke. I think he broke the security guard's nose. The guy had to go to a hospital. And at the time, a party guest told the tabloids there was blood everywhere. People were shocked as the guard came inside with his face in a total mess. It ruined a lovely day. Sounds like it. I mean, it would spoil a birthday party a bit. But, you know, we were scratching our heads. Who was this party pooping headbutter who had spoiled Nicky's big day? You know, we were speculating, was it a sort of a Cantona or a Keane figure? It was neither of them. The culprit has finally been handed a police caution, meaning he can be named for the first time. It's Nicky Butt. So it turns out that the person who ruined Nicky Butt's party with a headbutt on a bouncer was Nicky Butt.
Nicky Butt at his own birthday party.
Yeah, it sounds a bit Cluedo when you say it like that.
Yeah.
It was Nicky Butt in the vapid celeb hellscape with a headbutt, with a glass of Picante.
Yeah, it's very divorced dad energy.
Yeah, very. You know, the Cultures pod who do like the Barclaysman thing and stuff, they have a thing called the Ballon Divorce for like divorced dad energy. And it is doing that at your 50th birthday party. So it's you know, some people have a midlife crisis by like buying a Ferrari and leaving their wife for Claire from HR, or you can just stagger into a courtyard and break a bouncer's nose at your own party.
At your own birthday party.
Yeah.
I don't know, Nicky Butt always struck me as quite reserved.
Yeah, I mean, he was quite tough in like midfield, wasn't he?
Yeah, I guess he was quite a tenacious tackler.
I think because of Roy Keane, he probably didn't get the credit he deserved for that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
now he's finally breaking away, making a name for himself.
Stepped out of Roy's shadow. Yeah. It's a bit late. You're 50, mate. You're probably a bit old to be doing stuff like that. So he was caught on CCTV.
They didn't have to DNA test the piss up against the wall.
Shame. Good that you got your forensic cap on. We're going to need that in our legal fight against FIFA, that sort of thinking. Yeah, it must have ruined the party a bit when the birthday boy came in.
Do we know what happened after? Did the party continue?
No, I don't actually know. I read that the bouncer went to hospital and that there was chat about ABH as a charge. But yeah, he's taken a police caution, so I don't think it goes any further. There's no court case, which is wise. But yeah, pretty mental. It is also funny how the class of 92 are just one by one getting picked off by increasingly funny scandals. Do you know what I mean? Like there was an era where they all sort of had kept their dignity, and then I think Ryan Giggs was probably the watershed.
Yeah.
Like him turning out to be a shagger.
Once Giggsy fell, then
then it was Paul Scholes getting caught. Admittedly, a lesser crime, but he was sucking his daughter's toes. Was he biting the nails?
I honestly have no idea what was going on in that photo.
What was his?
Was it a sort of? I mean, it's the kind of thing that if you do that to your newborn child, like in a picture, it's maybe a bit cute. But when your kid is like 18, it's
because I have to do it to my son's hand sometimes to just trim his nails so he doesn't scratch me.
Oh, you bite his nails?
Yeah, and he's, to be fair, he's 15, so it's you know, he's still a baby, really. Yeah, I think that joke landed slowly. I think he is biting out. It's like he's getting like a bit of gristly meat off the bone, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
ribs. You know what it looks like he's using his daughter's toenail as a toothpick. He's got like a bit of sinewy
I think it's like Buffalo Wild Wings kind of thing.
Yeah.
You just got to get in there and get the job done. Anyway, so Scholes, obviously, he had that. And now Nicky Butt is an absolute wild man.
Who's next? Who's not fallen yet? Gary Neville? Gary Neville's still got quite a...
Yeah. I mean, my thing with Gary Neville is he's sort of the problem at Man United, but not a lot of people share that view. It's not quite the same.
Yeah.
I guess Beck's, weirdly, I know he had his scandals, which we've talked about, but his image is untarnished, I think.
Yeah.
Fergie.
Relatively.
I'm not going to talk about it, but I did hear a mental, probably bollocks story about Fergie.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Not saying any more about that. Certainly not outside of the Patreon. Beckham, actually, did you see, is getting his own chat show, which is proof that he's still standing. So he's getting a Beckham and Friends live chat show on Paramount, which is a bit of a shame. So this is before the semis and final of the Champions League. It's going to be like Bex with like I think like Tom Cruise and Ed Sheeran, just like
God, that sounds like an extended Doritos advert or like Domino's advert. You know, when they create these scenes as if anyone has ever had this situation when you and your extremely good-looking, very representative group of mates are all like sat around hanging out, and then it's like, do we get Just Eat in? And then like the pizza arrives and you crack open a bottle of Heineken and yeah.
I mean, the way Beckham describes it in the press stuff sounds similar. He goes, I'm really looking forward to turning up with a few mates, a few glasses of wine, watching the game and great conversation. It's all casual, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just a couple of guys kicking back. I mean, I love Bex. Don't want to knock him too far, but I can't imagine that's going to be the most stimulating.
Yeah. Also, Ed Sheeran knows a bit about football, but does Tom Cruise know anything about it?
Tom Cruise always fucking pops up at sports events when he's got something to promote. Do you remember, like, was it last summer or the one before? He was like at the Euros, he was at Wimbledon, he just kept popping up. So maybe. And they are mates.
Sofa. So do you think this is like a pre-runner to a future talk show for
like a Parkinson style?
Yeah.
It'll be funny.
Is he going to become the new Paxman?
Yeah, it'd be good if it was like hard-hitting grilling. Sort of like Paxo just laying into people. But I suspect it'll be quite a lot more Doritos advert.
Yeah.
Anyway, I will watch because I think it'll be funny, but judging by Beckham's previous TV stuff, it might not be the great conversation he promises. Do you remember for the Qatar World Cup, he did a promo for Visit Qatar in the lead up, and it's like him in a spice market, and he goes, "This is probably the best spice market I've ever been to." And then he goes, "This will go down as one of my favourite mornings." Whatever. Can't wait.
Filming an advert for Visit Qatar.
Can't wait to bring my children here.
Yeah.
Although, maybe he'll pick up a few lessons from the time, I think it was in the late 90s that him and Posh went on Ali G.
And
actually, him and Posh were great sports. Here's a clip.
Beckham, you was being well quiet there in the corner. Yeah? Don't think, this ain't like classroom where if you keep your head down, I won't ask you questions, you know? Now, why do you think you is a pin-up for so many gaylords? We don't use the word batty men now because it ain't politically correct.
You tell me.
Just because you wear skirts, your girlfriend's pants, have a suntan and a skinhead, talk like a girl and hang out with Elton John, what's good about that?
Nothing wrong with that.
For real, respect.
Yeah, it's pretty long. I'll link to it because it's pretty good.
Yeah,
but do you know what? Him and Posh come off so well.
Yeah.
Like, they talk about the chant, the Posh Spice takes it up the arse chant.
Which now is she's sort of milking, saying it was like very traumatic, right? At the time, like in this one, she's sort of
but you can understand how you'd want to like sort of take ownership, to use a very 2020s phrase for it. They're pretty good about it. I'll give them that. I think like everyone likes the Beckhams, don't they? I just don't think he's the next Paxman. A random bit of gossip that I think it was on TMZ in America is that Brooklyn and Romeo Beckham's kids are not speaking at the moment because Romeo is dating Brooklyn's ex.
Romeo is dating Brooklyn's ex.
Yeah.
Okay. But how long ago?
Which I think counts as a cucking.
Yeah,
we like to keep track of any cuckings.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
the thing is, Brooklyn is now happily married, right?
Yeah, he does.
But that's, to be honest, that seems a bit bitter that he's not speaking to Romeo.
Yeah, apparently that him and Nicole are not impressed. I think maybe they think this girl's bad news. I have no fucking idea. I get really a cucking is. The definition of a cucking is when you watch someone shag your wife, right? But I think since sort of mid 2010s, it's become someone shagging your wife. So I guess I'm watering it down quite a lot more to say he's dating Brooklyn's ex. But it kind of is a cucking.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite weird to date your brother's ex, isn't it?
Ever happened to you?
It's not. My brother is quite a bit younger than me, so...
Yeah, but you know what you're like. You know how you get after a few drinks.
I honestly don't know what that's a reference.
It's nothing. It's just a joke. I think you would be a bit weirded out by it. I don't know if I'd freeze my brother out.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the Beckham clan always seems like it's a very harmonious place. So
I heard from like reasonably good source that sorry, this is proper Hello magazine gossip now, but that Posh does not like Brooklyn's wife, Nicole.
Oh, I did hear that.
They
yeah.
like really clash.
Yeah.
And like I can't remember. There was some beef at the wedding, but I've heard that they don't get on. So maybe that's part of this silence thing. I don't know. Sorry, is this trashy enough for our listeners? Once we start drifting into like supermarket tabloid gossip.
Yeah. We've gone from we've taken down FIFA now, so we need to go for the other end.
Look,
of the
guys, it's
spectrum,
been a busy Easter weekend, speaking truth to power
Yeah.
and taking on the giants of global governance. So allow us a bit of trivial gossip. Yeah.
Did you have a nice Easter on the?
Yeah, I
subject?
did. Yeah, I ate a lot of chocolate.
Because you've got a kid now. Did you do Easter egg hunt?
No, he's too young and
Too young.
couldn't really be asked. Maybe he could have done an Easter egg hunt.
I guess he doesn't know about it yet, so he's not.
He had a
doesn't
Mr.
know.
Whip, he didn't even have any chocolate. Yeah, he doesn't get it. But yeah, I stuffed my stupid face with chocolate
Yeah.
all weekend.
Were you in church?
Sadly not, no. Were you?
No, I was not.
My granny was really Catholic and my dad's birthday often falls on Easter. And if it fell on Good Friday, he wouldn't get any presents, just fish. That's how devout.
Did they at least wrap it up?
At the
or-
time, no, actually, probably not. At the time, I thought that's quite harsh. Now it sounds like the fucking Islamic State or something. You know? It's pretty severe.
So what? That was if his
fell on
birthday
Good Friday,
fell on Good
which
Friday.
was, I don't know, sometimes it
Why
would. His birthday's
is Good
420.
Friday? You're not allowed to. You're not supposed to have
It's the
anything.
day of mourning. It's when Jesus was crucified.
Did you see there was a clip of a street preacher in Newcastle city centre this weekend doing a Bible reading, and he's interrupted by a woman who sat by the side.
It's led as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before shearers. Shearer! Not that shearer.
So in case you didn't quite catch that, he mentions a sheep before a shearer.
Some biblical
lamb.
They love
Character.
sheep in
I
the
don't know.
Bible.
Yeah. And yeah, she mistakes it for the god Alan. George, our newsletter writer, was looking it up actually. And Alan Shearer's dad was a sheet metal worker, which is a little bit like a carpenter.
I see, like our Lord Jesus.
Our Lord Jesus, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Shearer was into carpentry, wasn't he? Do you remember when Blackburn won the league and they asked Shearer, how are you going to celebrate? And he said, I'm going to creosote my fence. I know he was joking, but still the most boring answer ever given.
yeah. I'm going to turn with water into wine.
Yeah, it's not quite the same.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of turning water into wine, did you see our old friend? Actually, the Pope hasn't done that.
That was Jesus, mate. Still Jesus. Do have a flick through the Bible at some point, just to get acquainted.
Yeah, I did notice though that the Pope died,
He did,
sadly,
yeah.
on Easter Monday. Our old friend Popey.
We have kind of been building it up for a while on that front.
Yeah.
In a respectful way.
Squeaky
bum time.
Speculated it is sort of squeaky bum time again in the Vatican as they choose who's going to be replacing him. Right?
Yeah. What is in which lucky cardinal?
Yeah, I mean, if you've seen the film Conclave, which really dramatises it very well, I'm really into it now.
Who
I was
you
looking at all
rooting
the
for?
I was looking through the candidates, and there's one whose name is Pizza Bola. Yeah, I think he's very conservative, he's very hardline.
Oh, are we going to get the Trump to the Biden sort of thing now?
Probably prefer a more progressive Pope, but at the same time, he does have a funny name.
Yeah, which would be fun.
Which would be good. Although I guess he has to take on a new name.
Oh yeah, but that also could be funny. Remember how
It could be funny if he also takes on a pizza themed one.
Yeah, well, there's also there was a Pope called Urban, which is pretty
Oh,
funny.
yeah.
And isn't there? There's another funny one.
Oh, there's a Pope called the Pope Hilarious.
Yeah, hilarious. Obviously, go for hilarious. Go for a funny name.
Yeah. What do you think Pope Hilarious would? Do you think that is that the origin of the word hilarious?
It'd be really
do you
funny if
think?
he was really stern.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
never laughed.
Yeah. Do you think he did his Pope duties in sort of Mr. Bean style?
Yeah,
Just like slapstick.
Try to just bring a bit of comedy to it. No one's getting it.
That was his campaign.
That's two Ronnies. That was classic. It's weird though. We've talked about this before, but it must be weird for the Pope. 'Cause, like, was there an element of looking forward to it?
Well, yeah, we were discussing
promotion.
this because, it's promotion. It's his promotion battle he's been in for the past 3 months.
And he won. Like Leeds, he did get over the line.
Finally, got
People
over the line.
doubted them.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. See, he did hang on for quite a while because we were speculating when he first went into hospital that maybe is he really that motivated to revive himself? But then he pulled through for Easter. And
Yeah, he
then
nailed that.
He just wanted to do one more Easter, one more. I mean, they did wheel him out to the balcony, didn't they?
Yeah, well, he met
Did quite
JD
well.
Vance.
Yeah.
Was JD Vance the last person to
one of the
touch
last
him?
people, which is
Right, that's
a bit
fucking
suspect.
suspect.
Yeah. I saw that he gave JD Vance's kids Easter eggs. He gave them 3 big Easter eggs.
Oh, really? Give them back now.
Yeah, I don't know, because it was Easter. It was Easter Sunday, so probably by that point he got the reduced ones you could get. Because I think by Easter Sunday maybe Easter
They're
Sunday
doing them for 16p in Aldi at the
16p.
moment.
What
yeah.
the big ones?
Yeah.
Shit. I don't know what type of Easter eggs JD Vance's kids got. If he gave them like Bounty or something like that.
Yeah, he's taking a bit shit one.
One of the shit ones. Yeah, we've actually got another suspect on our list of Pope poppers, and that is Aaron Ramsey. So do you remember when during his playing career there was this thing people noticed that every time Aaron Ramsey scored, a celeb died. It's quite a distinguished, an illustrious bunch that he killed. George W. Bush, Gaddafi, Roger Moore, Whitney Houston, Steve Jobs, David Bowie, Alan Rickman, Osama bin Laden, and Olivia Newton-John.
They've all got a lot in common. Apparently 29 celebs in total.
29.
It's quite a lot.
Yeah, but then how sort of what level of celeb are we talking?
No, they're all sort of on that level, I
Yeah.
think. I mean, Bowie and Rickman was the same week.
They
I don't know if he
both died.
scored twice.
Yeah. I mean, obviously he's retired now, so he didn't score on Saturday, but he was named as Cardiff City's caretaker manager over the weekend, or had his first game on Saturday, and then bang, Pope's dead.
There you have it. I guess maybe getting a management job's like a bigger deal. So like,
so
do you think like a tap in you get Olivia Newton-John, like a screamer from 25 yards out you get Bin Laden, and then if you get a management job,
this is only a caretaker job as well.
True. Fucking
I imagine
hell.
once he gets the top job.
Keep on time for King Charles and Trump.
Trump's
Yeah.
probably.
I think you got to win the league to take out Trump.
Yeah.
I don't think Aaron Ramsey had retired, by the way. I think he had been playing for them.
Oh, you're right.
And then they were
you're
like,
right.
you should be caretaker.
Player manager.
Yeah.
Bit desperate. I think they lost. And no,
They drew
they
with
drew,
Oxford
yeah,
United. Yeah.
So he was actually asked about this curse in 2015 and replied, "That's just a crazy rumor. Although I took out some baddies." Which makes it sound like it was not a crazy rumor,
Yeah.
and he knew exactly what he was up
It's
to.
using baddie in the Bin Laden sense, like villain, or in the new slang sense of like hot girl. Because Olivia Newton-John, she was a baddie in Greece.
Yeah, back in the 70s.
Sandy.
Yeah, I mean, that does make sense. Or maybe it's just a broad interpretation of the word baddie. Because
Yeah.
if it was just baddies, like baddie, evil people, then you've got Gaddafi. You've got Osama bin Laden, but there's a lot of collateral in there. Roger Moore.
Yeah, I mean, that does
Olivia
happen when you take out
Newton-John.
baddies. Just ask George W. Bush. So, Iraq war joke. Not my
Yeah.
best.
Yeah, actually, while we're doing tasteless reactions to the death of the pontiff, did you see the president of San Lorenzo, Argentine side, trousering a stack of grubby cash? Absolutely brazen corruption. We've got a video of it here.
So it's like a hidden camera
It's
thing.
a hidden camera.
He's being he's
literally
handed a stack of banknotes.
Yeah, it's the most brazen bit of corruption you could ever see. So this guy was he's president of the club, and he is handed literally a wad, $25,000 in cash, which they just slide it across the table and he puts it in his pocket. I mean, it's like something from a movie.
Yeah, you don't
really.
think bribery is ever that brazen.
Yeah.
And so San Lorenzo
Nonsense.
was the Pope's favourite team.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the link.
Did this happen while he was alive?
This was
It broke.
What,
It broke on Tuesday, I think.
Oh,
so
really? Okay, so it's probably happened.
Good day to bury bad news for San Lorenzo. To be fair.
Yeah. What do you think they were waiting until the Pope's gone? Until their most famous fan is.
Yeah, I think it's like
out of the
farewell to our
picture.
most famous fan. And by the way,
Yeah.
But I get so.
It was
What was the bribe
the
for?
bribe was for it was a deal to like play this guy's son in the reserve team for San Lorenzo, but it turned out that the guy was an undercover journalist
Like
who was
fake
filming the whole thing. This is a bit of brazen corruption out of the Sepp Blatter era of FIFA, really, isn't it?
Yeah, when it was
Not
like
to- not to
Rolexes.
Dig up FIFA's inherent corruption
Yeah.
yet again. But yeah, I mean that era was just envelopes of cash, Rolexes, prostitutes just being sent to the room of FIFA delegates. It was it was ridiculous.
The prostitutes in the room one I find baffling because it's like, surely quite often people are like, well, I'm in my room with my wife, or they're just not interested.
Yeah,
quite a high stakes bribe.
Yeah.
I guess you know the type.
Yeah, you know.
You've probably
the type.
been out with him. Yeah.
My favourite one of the FIFA corrupt officials was Chuck Blazer, who was this American delegate who he got so rich that he could buy 2 apartments in New York, one for himself and one for his cat. Have you ever seen a picture of him?
Yeah, he's grotesque.
It's like...
For me, you look at that picture. Yeah, I guess, what's the Miracle on 34th Street where is it David Attenborough playing Father Christmas?
David Attenborough.
No, Richard Attenborough. Who's the other Attenborough? One of
David Attenborough made quite a good Father Christmas.
Richard Attenborough plays Father Christmas. You know the one where they sue Father Christmas? It's another case of a David versus Goliath cool battle. But he looks like Chuck Blazer in that. Miracle on 34th Street. Yeah, yeah, he looks exactly like him. There you go. Yeah, there's something a bit cuddly about it. But I also think when someone's got an apartment for their cats, probably do check his bank transactions. Yeah. That is fucking bent.
Is it sort of Harry Redknapp case? You know, Harry Redknapp had a secret bank account in the name of his dog Rosie.
Yeah.
Was this apartment, that apartment was registered to
the name of the cats.
Yeah.
Harry Redknapp not bent though. For the benefit of the tape. Anyway, it wasn't all death, resurrection and libel threats over the long weekend, because there were a few sort of fun bits happening around the grounds. I thought I'd just talk through some fun stories over the weekend. So first of all, we had a letter from John, who sent in a video from Coachella, the god-awful music festival in California, where Trey Cool, who's the drummer from Green Day, was watching Lady Gaga, and he was just like filming it, just like sort of open mouth teenager dancing at a gig, when a man who bore a striking resemblance to Jurgen Klopp intervenes and tells him to put his phone down. So there's a clip, we'll link to it. It really looks like Klopp.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying it's a lookalike, like I think it might be.
No,
So
that is Jurgen Klopp.
The guy comes over and sort of goes, come on, like put your phone down.
Yeah, I think that is Jurgen Klopp. I mean, it almost looks too much like Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah, because he's in the cap and the tracksuit.
He's got a
and like the clear glasses.
Tracksuit with a hood and the cap.
So there is that famous...
But he's got the way he goes over and like taps him on the shoulder. It's
very Jurgen Klopp.
It looks like he's talking to the fourth official about a foul throw.
Yeah, come on, man, come on. You don't need to film.
Like 6 minutes at a time. Come on.
Yeah, it does. The mannerisms are quite Klopp.
Yeah, it is.
And I googled it, and there was a news story because he's involved with Red Bull, who own the New York Red Bulls, and it said Klopp. 4 weeks ago, it said Klopp was going to Coachella.
Yeah, he's now getting all his freebies.
Yeah, it sounds
he's working for Red Bull.
Fair enough. He should be allowed to watch Gaga in the VIP, and that does look like a VIP area because there is a famous Klopp. The Kloppelganger, the guy who, and he's bloody good. And he does, when he impersonates Klopp, he does wear almost exactly that outfit.
I actually think it is him. It looks.
I'm just saying, would the Kloppelganger be in the VIP?
If maybe he's undercover as Klopp, and he's
the guy in the video looks more like Jurgen than his Kloppelganger, I would say.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll link to it. Let us know what you think.
It also surprises me that Trey from Green Day is filming it on his phone.
Yeah, I thought they're like sort of anti-capitalist, like fuck the machine man, and then he's just like filming Lady Gaga like a teenage fan.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that.
Trey Cool is a very Green Day drummer name.
Is that his real name?
Trey, no, I think
Trey Cool.
Me and George looked up earlier, and his real name's like Edward Francis, or something like that, as they always are when you've got a name like Trey Cool. Yeah, maybe it's Klopp.
I think it is Klopp.
Yeah, I was wondering what you would
stick my neck out.
Speaking of absent friends, Mikhailo Mudryk, the Chelsea winger,
what's he up to?
He's banned.
Yeah.
I think provisional ban because he failed a drugs test. They found something in his sample, and I think you get banned immediately. But he obviously protests his innocence, and I haven't heard much from him until this week when Shakhtar, his old club, the CEO popped up, and basically Shakhtar have a bit of an interest in Mudryk not being banned because Chelsea still have to pay them 30 million of the transfer fee. I think it's based on appearances, so they really need him to play. And the CEO said that Mudryk is adamant that he never took this drug, and he has taken a lie detector test to prove it.
A lie detector test.
Yeah, I like that.
Is that what UEFA does or whoever?
Yeah, it's his own lawyers.
Okay.
I don't think it's admissible in court.
Yeah. It's quite Jerry Springer, isn't it?
It's very Jeremy Kyle.
Yeah, get him sat around on David Beckham's sofa on Paramount Plus, reveal the lie detector test. I'd watch that.
I'd watch that. Let's have Infantino on the lie detector
we've got
test.
Tom Cruise on and Lee Mack.
Yeah, it's I quite like the idea of like, I've done a lie detector. I feel like in America
are they then going to bring out the like club president with like 2 bouncers either side of him, just like trying to get
like the ex-wife. Yeah. Thing is,
Todd Bowley's on the other side of the room.
Yeah, hold me back. Thing is, I always thought that they are admissible in American courts, but I think that's just because I watched Judge Judy when I was a kid. Yeah. I don't think lie detectors are legit. There was also another funny aspect. There was a tweet doing the rounds yesterday that Teddy, our producer, told us about, which said, Mudryk's B sample contained traces of unsaturated polyurethane, something normally seen only in kids who have swallowed Lego minifigures. And it was from, when people put the source in brackets after, it said Fejkovi Novini, which apparently means fake news in Ukrainian. But people were retweeting it like it was real when they told it. Yeah,
that's so funny.
It's really that's the sort of fake news I can get on board with.
Yeah.
It's good fun.
Harmless.
Thinking of, I had quite a boring Easter weekend. It was fairly restrained. But one man who didn't was Celtic striker Adam Ida. Is it Ida? So a video popped up of him on Saturday on a night out puking in a taxi. He's with these 2 girls.
Oh my God, man. Oh, fuck it up.
That's actually one of those clips that works really well for audio listeners of the podcast. You don't need to be on YouTube for that. I'll link to it though. It's a proper comedy wretch.
Yeah.
So then there was big scandal about it. Brendan Rodgers actually came out and defended him, his manager. And then the next day it was the Scottish Cup semi-final and Adam scored.
So what? This was on Saturday night and then he played?
No, it's actually the video came out on Saturday. I think Brendan Rodgers clarified that the vomiting took place on Wednesday night.
Okay.
So it's just
just a midweek vomiting.
Yeah, just a bloke enjoying his personal life.
Yeah. Good on him.
It comes back. I think we talked about this in the pod before, that you always say that it's like clubs fine people like 2 weeks' wages for being out.
Yeah.
So imagine if that happened in a normal job.
Yeah, on a Wednesday night. I mean, Wednesday night before a cup semi-final still feels quite soon to be so bad that you
to vomit in a cab.
Yeah.
Good clip though. So
but thanks. I mean, I thought it was going to be a hungover hat trick again, like Jermaine Pennant on his debut.
No, I mean, he scored. Admittedly, I think it was a 5-0 win. He scored the crucial 4th goal, I think. Which
they're all 5-0 wins for something, really, aren't they?
True. Anyway, we want more footballers like that. So hats off to Adam. And then I thought given that we had a Chris Eubank pod this week, it would be nice to introduce a regular feature of Chris Eubank sightings. So if anyone sees Chris Eubank out and about, let us know what he's up to, because generally it's very funny. So Jack, our video producer, his friend spotted Chris recently at a small airport on the coast of Ireland where he was being asked to remove some very pointy shoes by the X-ray guy. Not sure if it's because they were so pointy they were dangerous.
A weapon, yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually chatting to a friend of my mum's yesterday, and she used to live in Brighton. She said she saw him one time on Brighton Beach. This was like years ago, in his boxing outfits, just standing on his own on the beach, like shadow boxing, just like that.
Just in shorts, no top, on his own.
Yeah,
as you do.
No,
keep the sightings coming. If you see Chris Eubank out and about, let us know. You've been spotted, we'll call it. Yeah. Like it. So finally, North Korea are now at last televising the Premier League. So, you sort of think the Premier League has reached every corner of the globe. Even that shepherd who didn't know who David Beckham was, these days he's tuning in. He's got a dodgy Fire Stick, so he can watch Brighton versus Crystal Palace. I think there are amoeba on Saturn that are watching that game so far as the Prem's reach. But the North Korea was always the final frontier.
What were they watching instead? Just sort of military parades?
Yeah, broadcast. Maybe like they're quite into sort of like rhythmic gymnastics, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, maybe like volleyball or something. I can imagine them being randomly really into volleyball.
Yeah, I think they do watch the odd bit of football, but it's like heavily censored. I mean, actually, the Premier League games they're showing, they're 60-minute highlights, which allows them to heavily censor them. So
censoring out any political messages.
No, they won't show any South Korean players, so they'll just cut them. So if Son scores,
they'll just cut.
They just cut that goal.
Their goal with Tottenham will just be a goal up.
Yeah, I don't know, or maybe they change the score.
Three less goals down. Yeah. More likely.
Yeah, I can imagine it's like quite confusing watching it because random stuff will just be edited out. It's like reading a redacted
or
letter.
Is it? Are they? Maybe they've seen that clip of Messi and Busquets passing What was it? Passing like battle advice to Syrian insurgents.
Yeah, they're wary of that, so they're censoring it. Apparently, also they showed they don't show South Korean players, but once they had to show the South Korean women's, I think it was the under-17s team. I think maybe they were playing North Korea, but the scoreline, instead of saying South Korea, they just said puppets. So good. I like the idea. Like maybe the shirt sponsors, instead of saying like, I don't know, bet whatever, it just says like capitalist pigs. The puppets thing actually reminded me of the nicknames that in China that Premier League fans will use for rival clubs. So there was like a Reddit post from a Chinese football fan, and he was saying like these are like the derogatory nicknames. So Man United, apparently rival fans call them "you lift" because they often inflate the transfer price of players they bid for but don't even sign. And then apparently Liverpool fans call Man United fans "man dog." Quite route one, that one. I like it. Got a lot of time for that one.
Dog, yeah.
And then Man City are called detergent because there's a Chinese detergent called Blue Moon.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
And then United fans also call them little cousin sister.
Little cousin sister.
It's quite sweet, that one.
Yeah,
little cousin sister.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I think they're quite nice. I think Chelsea are called Ruble Legion as well because of Abramovich, which doesn't really work anymore.
Yeah.
And Arsenal, it was Fourthaholics because they always come fourth. Very route one. Little cousin sisters.
These are good. I think we should introduce them here.
Yeah. Should we just start referring to man dog?
Little cousin sister.
Shout out to any listeners in China, actually. Love to hear from you. All right. Well, I think on that note, it is time for us to open the rusty gates to our hideous pegging dungeon, where we're getting into a weird one today because on the Eubank episode, we talked, I don't know how it came up. I think it's because we talked about Eubank's cousin got murdered. His chow mein got poisoned with rat poison.
Yeah.
And it came up that my great-great-grandmother was the last woman to be hanged in Yorkshire. She was the corned beef killer. So we're going to do a special deep dive on the corned beef killer.
Yeah, we are monetizing your generational trauma.
Oh, we are, yeah.
For content.
And obviously it's considered quite an open and shut case, but I am going to bring some evidence to the fore, which would suggest that she's not as guilty as she may seem, and she may be guilty of a stitch-up at the hands of your ancestor, Zach.
Really?
You look genuinely surprised.
I have no idea about this.
Yeah, no spoilers.
This is news to me.
No spoilers, but I believe...
So you're once we've taken down FIFA, now you're trying to drag my proud family name through the mud.
I have reason to believe that your family deliberately caused the hanging of my great-great-grandmother.
I'm now afraid because I know that you're also pro death penalty and sort of restorative justice.
Yeah, but only for treason, not for corned beef poisoning.
Okay.
Anyway, it's a genuinely wild tale with some quite spicy elements, and I believe it to be a stitch up. So, if you fancy that, it's obviously got nothing to do with sport. There's a tiny sport link which we'll get into, but if you fancy that, we'll be going onto Patreon right now. You can listen to it right now. Just sign up, patreon.com/Upshot Towers. Just £3 a month. You get bonus episode every week.
Yeah, and we're going to be at each other's throats from now. So if this is the last episode that the two of us appear on together, then something...
At the end of it, Zach will be force-fed a poisoned corned beef sandwich. and he will meet his bloody end live on Patreon. See you there. And if you don't fancy that, if you haven't got the stomach for it, then thanks a lot for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.